Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel mantrambylalitarao. So today's video is for class 9th, chapter 1, motion. And the topic that we are going to cover in today's video is rest and motion. So come on, get ready, let's start this journey. Yes. So what is rest and motion? In our daily life, we say different things like we do different things. Suppose we walk, we sit, we sleep, we run, and so many things. Okay, so out of all those things that we do, some come under the rest and some come under the topic motion, isn't it? So now, what is rest and what is motion? If somebody asks you, like, look at this example. Here there are two images. In the first image, you can see that on the platform, like, train is moving, and then some passengers, they are standing on the platform, and this train, it is moving, right? So this train is changing its position from one point to the other point. Okay, so as this train is moving and this people are standing, so they can see the train changing the position from, let us say, point A to point B. So we can say that this train is in motion. So the train is in motion with respect to these observers. So these two people, they are observers. And for these observers, this train is moving. But now look here, inside view of the train. Okay. So inside this train, in the inside view of this train, you can see these passengers, they are sitting inside the train. Okay. So when these passengers are sitting inside the train, for them, the train is not changing the position. For them, neither this other passenger is changing the position, nor this passenger, nor this passenger. Okay. So for this passenger A, passenger B, C, D, and E, they all are at the same position. They did not change their position. So in such cases, we can say that the object is at rest. Okay. But for these people, when they look at the people, those who are inside the train, for these people, they are in motion. These are in motion. And for these people, when they look outside the train, for them, these passengers will be changing their position, right? So motion and rest can be defined as when a body is said to be at rest when its position does not change with respect to the observer. So for simply in general terms, we cannot say that any object is stationary or any object is motion. To tell or to identify in physics, like where to say whether an object is in state of rest or in uniform motion, you have to first see the observer. So it depends upon the observer who is observing the motion. And a body is said to be in motion when its position changes with time with respect to the observer. Now, here, as we have discussed, for this, for these people, when these are observer, the train is in motion, and also the people, those who are sitting inside the train, they are in motion. Okay. And but for this girl, this man or this boy is not changing the position. For the man, girl is not changing the position, so they are at rest. But for these passengers, those who are sitting inside the train, for them, they are also changing the position. So that's why they are in motion. So same object can be at rest, can be in motion, depending upon the position of the observer, or depending upon the observer who is observing the motion. So once again, let's quickly see what is how to define rest and how to define motion. So a body is said to be at rest when its position does not change with respect to the observer, and a body is said to be in motion when its position changes with respect to the observer. Clear? Okay. Now, examples of rest and motion. Now here you can see, as we can observe here, that a train is moving. right? So for this train, like look at this diagram A, this is suppose figure B. Okay. Now in figure A, you can see that the train is moving, right? Train is moving and the trees are, for if we see from here, trees are fixed, they are not moving. But the passengers, those who are inside this train, for them, trees appear to change their position. Yes, it happens when you also travel by train and the trees which are nearby, they appear to, when you go front, the trees appear to move back, isn't it? So this is because we feel that trees are changing their position, isn't it? Trees are changing, trees appear to change their position. But actually in real life, do the trees change their position? Do they move? No. But according to physics, as they appear to change their position with respect to the passengers, those who are inside the train, so these trees are also in motion with respect to those passengers. But if we look at the trees, for us, it is stationary. So the same object can be in a state of rest for one particular observer, and for another observer, it can be in the state of motion. Now, if you look here, okay, this man or this person is sitting beside the tree. So for this person, tree is at rest, and for this tree, this person is at rest. Okay, but the train which is passing from from that side, so the passengers who will observe the motion of this who will observe this tree and the man, so for those passengers, this man and the tree, they both are in, tree and man, they both are in motion, okay, when observed from the moving train. But when observed from a person who is simply standing near them, for that person, they are at rest. So, same object, what we have understood, that motion and rest, they are relative terms. They are relative, means they are not absolute. You cannot simply say, I cannot simply say that this pen is stationary, or is it at rest, or is it at motion. There is no fixed position, because this pen, for me, it is stationary. But for the person who will be passing or moving from here, for that person, this pen is changing the position. So this pen will be in motion. So motion and rest are relative terms, because these terms depend on the observer and time, isn't it? It depends upon observer and time. So with respect to time and observer, a body a body state can be in the state of a body can be in the state of motion, or it can be in the state of rest. Got it? So now let's move further. Okay, now some more examples of rest and motion, right? So flying birds, okay, flying birds, then motion of hands of the clock. Now these birds, these are flying. So when you observe these birds from the ground, from the surface of the earth, for you, they appear to change their position. So when they appear to change their position with respect to us, because we are observers, so then they are considered to be in motion. But if there is another bird, let us say here there is another bird which is moving just beside this bird and moving in the same direction and with the same speed, moving with the in the same direction and with the same speed. So for this bird, this the second bird is at rest, and for second bird, first bird will be at rest. So the same bird can be in the state of motion, can be in the state of rest, depending upon the observer. Now Motion of hands of a clock. Now, in clock, we have hour hand, right? And minute hand. I'm not talking about electronic clock. Okay, it's like digital clock. Minute hand, then seconds hand. So if you observe hour hand, then this hour hand will not change its position so fast. If you observe this hour hand for, let us say, 2 seconds, so will it appear to change its position? No. So then for that particular time, you will consider it at rest. But if this hour hand is observed for half an hour, let us say 1 hour, then it appears to change its motion or place. So then this will become in motion. The state will change into motion. Similarly, minute hand, seconds hand. So to decide whether an object is in motion or at rest, time also matters. How much time interval, for how long we are observing the motion, and for that much duration, whether the object changes its position or not. Then plants movement. Do plants move? Yes? No? Suppose we have a plant here or a grass. So do they move? No, they don't move. No movement. Yes, but plants also move. Yes. How? They may not change their position, but plants grow. So when even plants grow to a stimulus, that stimulus can be like light. Yes. So you might have seen sunflower changing its or facing towards the sun, isn't it? So wherever sun's position changes, the flower also faces towards that. So that is a stimulus. Light is a stimulus, and the flower responds to the plant responds to that stimulus light. So in that way, we can say plants also move only when you observe. Suppose when you sow a seed, and then seed becomes plant, when it grows into plant, so the growth or the movement takes place upwards. So that is also a movement. But then for that, you need to take very long interval of time. Then motion of planets. Yes. So all these planets, if we are on that planet, suppose we are on the earth, okay, we are here somewhere. So for us, earth is not moving. Earth is stationary, isn't it? Earth is stationary for us. But if someone goes to a moon, or someone goes to Venus or Mars or Mercury or Mars, any other planet, or Jupiter. Okay. So if you go to Jupiter and from there, if you observe Earth, will it appear to be stationary? No, it will appear to change its position. So at that time, what do we say? We will say that Earth is in motion. So the same Earth can be considered to be in the state of rest or in the state of motion, depending upon the place from where the motion is being observed, right? So now let's solve some questions based on this topic. Okay. So first question for you. You are moving towards Qutub Minar. Suppose you have a monument Qutub Minar here. Okay. So this is Qutub Minar, and you are moving towards Qutub Minar. Here is you. So is Qutub Minar at rest or in motion with respect to you? Come on, think about it and write your answers in the chat box. Okay, I'll be checking your answers, right? So when you are moving towards Qutub Minar, definitely for you, Qutub Minar also, it will also change its position, right? So if position of any object changes with respect to time and observer, then that object will be in motion. So if you are moving towards Qutub Minar will be in motion with respect to you. So the answer for this question is Qutub Minar will be in motion. Okay? Yes. Now next question. two trains A and B are moving on on parallel tracks. Okay, with the same speed and in the same direction. So they are moving in the with the same speed and in the same direction. An observer P is sitting in train A and another person Q is sitting in train B. Okay, so suppose train A and this is train B. Okay, observer P is sitting in train A, Q is sitting in train B, and they both are having same speed and they are moving in the same direction. Okay, so is Q at rest with respect to P? Now the question comes C. If there is another person C, so for this person C, obviously P and Q, they both are in motion because they are changing the position. But for P, as they both are moving with the same, both the trains are moving with the same speed and in the same direction like this. So for the person who is sitting here, for that person, always this person will remain there only. So the other person, for person P, Q's position will not change, and for person Q, P's position will not change. That's why Q will not be at rest with respect to P, but it will be in motion because its position is changing with respect to time and observer. That's why it will be in motion. Got it? So let's move to the next question. Now, can a body be at rest and in motion at the same time? Yes, it can happen when suppose a person who is sitting, if you remember, we took an example of the tree, isn't it? So when a person is sitting near, suppose this is a tree and there is a person sitting near the tree or standing near the tree, and there is a train passing from here. Okay, so this train is moving. So the passenger A who is inside the train, for that passenger, this man and tree both are at rest or at motion. Sorry, they both are changing their position, so they both are at motion. But for this man, the tree is at rest, and for the tree, the man is at rest. So therefore, this same body is at rest with respect to observe person B, and the same tree is in motion with respect to person A. So yes, you can give this example and you can elaborate it, right? So this is the next. Now let's move to the next question. Have you ever experienced that the train in which you are sitting appears to move while you are at rest? Yes, it appears to move when you are at rest. Because when you are sitting in the train and in the same platform, like on the other side of the platform, if there is another train which is moving or which is moving in any other direction, then for you feel that your train is moving, right? Even though your train is not moving. So that is then example of this question. So now today we have discussed so many questions and a few questions, and we have also discussed what is rest and what is motion. So now here we come to the end of this today's video, and then I'll bring up the next topic in the next video. Until then, please do watch, like, share and subscribe to my channel and enjoy the classes. Okay, bye bye.